Thank you. Michael Paul Smith, that's beautiful. We are so blessed to have you. Well, welcome everyone, and I see we still have people bringing some food for the potluck. So it's like potluck Sunday is herding the cats. So come on in and join us. And welcome everyone to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Maureen Bishop and Reverend Kate DeVivier, and we welcome you this morning, this beautiful day. And I'd like to start off with what we call spiritual mind treatment and opening prayer. Good morning. So if you would like to, just get comfortable, put your feet on the floor, and just take a deep breath, and just join with me in consciousness. Just leave all your concerns outside the back door and be here in this moment. Just know with me, there is only one spirit in this room. There is only one life, and that is God's life. There is only one power and presence, all-knowing, everywhere present, all-powerful, and we and I am one with it. So the I speak of is you when I say that I am, and I am one with this amazing, unlimited power and presence and mind. It's all God, it's all good. I am one with unlimited source, so I am prosperous. I have money to share and money to spare. And I know that I am healthy and healed and whole. My body is perfect. And I know that I am one with this life, God's life, and the presence of life in me, as me, and through me. And as one with Spirit, I am loved, because God is love. I am loved and lovable and loving. I am worthy of love, so I say yes to all forms of love and friendship and good in my life. And I am creative, because God is always creating, and the mind that is God is my mind. So I create for good this week, today, and every day. I am one with the creative law, the creative love, the creative presence. My thoughts are always on higher spirit. I am blessed. So I know this all unfolds in divine and perfect order for me today and every day. I live in the now of good, the now of God. So I release my word, I let it go. I know it's acted upon, I know it's so. Together we say, and so it is. So I'd like to present Michael Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. So great to be here. I'm going to transport you this morning to the 20th century, not the 21st century, but the 20th century. So everything I will be presenting will have that in mind. So in terms of language and approach to our divine, creative Father, love, intelligence, however we term it. But just keep that in mind for today. I see my mom back there. Hi, sweetheart. I love you. Lord, I want to be more loving in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be Lord, I want to be more loving in my Lord, I want to be more kind in my heart, Lord, I want to be more kind, yeah, in my heart, in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be more kind in my heart, in my heart, in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be more loving in my heart.
That was a beautiful song. Thank you, Michael Paul. And it's so true that love is in our heart and everywhere. So I just want to say how great it is to be here today. I just got back from a trip to Egypt. I have a little jet lag, but if I start falling over, I know Reverend Maureen will step into the void. Today is going to be really exciting. I'm so glad that Michael Paul suggested and offered to do this research project for us. So I'm really excited about it. Now, I need a volunteer to do the candle lighting.
Larry.
Let's get Larry. Larry, would you like to light the candles?
Sure.
Thank you. Because what we want to do is light these candles, and as we do so, let's remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So first, we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. we light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful, just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And we light a candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, I'd like to invite you to take a moment and recognize your own inner light that is always shining within as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Larry. So I just have a few announcements to share today. We want to welcome everyone, and if it's your first time visiting, we want to invite you to just make yourself at home. Stay for the potluck after the service. Please add your name and email to our guest book if you would like to receive our weekly email. And I think we have some welcome packets out there if you'd like to pick one up. And we also have some beautiful decorated rocks. Darla rock, raise your hand, Darla. So you can grab a rock and take it home with you as a gift from Darla. And just in case anyone is in the mood to wear a hat during potluck, she also brought some hats. So, you know, we like to have fun. This is our community and we like to enjoy ourselves. So, enjoyment is great, but we are also engaged in some serious business too. And so every Sunday we offer spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer as our gift to you. So if you have a prayer request for any healing of conditions that you're experiencing, you can either speak to a minister or a practitioner after the service. And let's raise our hands. I'm here. Practitioner Larry is here. Practitioner Robert. Reverend Maureen. And Dr. Maddie is here also. And we're all available to you after the service during potluck. Or the other thing you can do is simply fill out a written prayer request form and put it in the box that's in the lobby. And then our prayer team will do a treatment for you during the week. Really simple. All you have to do is state what it is you desire to experience in your life. So I also want to say next week, Reverend Maureen's going to be speaking on the law of action, and we will also be having our class after the service. So we have an ongoing class. We're not having it this week because we need to have some fun and celebrate today. But next week, get back in your workbooks and we can catch up on the class. So right now, I just want to take a moment and thank our volunteers because we really are a community-based spiritual center. And so first, I want to thank Corky and John for the beautiful flower arrangement. So let's give them a hand. I want to thank Ruth Ann and Robert and Odie for all being our greeters today. So let's give them a hand too. I'd like to recognize Jim Massapus for doing the video recording and also changing batteries in our speakers and helping with the setup. So thank you, Jim. I guess I can recognize my son Dave, who came early this morning to set up the tables and chairs and everything. So I'll give him a hand. You might see him later at the end of the potluck, and he's going to come and put things away. And I also want to recognize Jan Sherburne, who you will see at the bookstore if you want to take a look at what we've got there for all she does to keep things running behind the scenes. So let's Well, it's really easy to become a volunteer here. The sign-up sheet is on the welcome table. And I notice there's quite a few openings for next week, so when you're standing in line for food, why not sign up? We would love it. So now, if you could open up your program and find our group reading. And let's read that together. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. And now I'll turn it over to Michael Paul.
The back row, I love you guys. Hello, back row. Hello, front row. Hello, middle row. Everybody here, I love you all. But, we're doing the get up, stand up, if you can. If you want to, if you're able to. We're going to do a song.
But you don't have to stand, sitting's fine too. Everything is optional.
Thank you. I was so enamored by my family and my father-in-law here. He's 98 years old. He came to sing and to do my little sermon here. So I was disoriented for a minute. Anyway, I'm back. So we're going to do a congregational song. I'm going to teach it to you. It's a real simple song because I forgot to Xerox it for you. But I'm sure all of you are familiar. It's called God is My Source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need, so I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. And God is joy is my source, and then peace, and then love. So it goes like kind of, God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Not bad. Have a seat. Choir rehearsals on Thursday night.
That'd be fun. Maybe not this Thursday. Now, I would like to invite Robert up to share an inspirational reading with us.
Thank you, Reverend Kate. Today's reading is from the person that Michael Paul's talk and music is all about. And that's Howard Thurman. And I have to confess, I'd never heard of Howard Thurman until I was given this task of finding a reading. Howard Thurman was a roommate in college with Martin Luther King Sr. And so he was one of the formative influences on Martin Luther King Jr. as a young child and young man. And this is from Reverend Dr. Thurman's Meditation of the Heart book. It's called Silence is a Door to God. There is a very great virtue in the cultivation of silence and strength to be found in using it as a door to God. Such a door opens within. When I have quieted down, I must spend some time in self-examination in the presence of God. This is no facile admission of guilt for wrongs done, or a too quick labeling of attitudes in negative terms. But it does mean lifting up a part of oneself and turning it over and over, viewing it from many angles, and then holding it still as one waits for the movement of God's Spirit in judgment, in honesty, and in understanding. To examine oneself in introspection and inner probing may become sheer morbidity, but to examine oneself in the climate and the mood of prayer carries with it a kind of lift and positiveness that is at once the antidote to morbidity. Every period of prayer should provide for an experience of self-examination in the presence of God. There may be, very directly following this phase of prayer, a time of thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in the presence of God becomes more than perfunctory. Thanksgiving has implicit within the idea itself a sensitive appraisal. Suddenly I may become aware that that which I thought was the sheer result of my own effort came my way despite my effort in the presence of God. His radiance lifts up the magic and so much that I had taken for granted. Somehow, in thanksgiving, I see clearly, if but for a fleeting moment, that much has come my way as a normal part of my dependency, without my being aware of it. It is at such moments that I become literally overwhelmed by a profound sense of the love and grace of God. Perhaps it is always true that the test of my thanksgiving is the humility which it expires. Self-examination, thanksgiving, humility. Let us experience them in our quiet time in the presence of God. And so it is.
So it is. This next song was one of Reverend Dr. Thurman's favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs. And it is from that 20th century catalog of sacred music. So I hope you can appreciate that. Oh Lord, my God, when I know some wonder, consider all thy works, my hands have made. I see the stars, I hear Went through the woods and forest glade, I wander and I hear the birds singing sweetly in the trees. Then I'll look down from the lofty mountain grandeur, and there proclaim my heart a great heart. And sings my soul, my Father God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! Then sings my soul, my Father God, to thee. How great thou art! How great
Beautiful. Just beautiful, thank you. Well, next up is going to be Michael Paul. He's going to give us our talk today. And I just want to say, I was thinking about the fact that this is Black History Month. And why do we even care about that? And I was thinking how a human, a person, an individual, if you suddenly discovered that you had amnesia and couldn't remember your life, how much you would lose. And I feel that's the same for our shared life, our shared culture. When we don't know our history, we don't remember and we don't know who we are. So I am so grateful to Michael Paul for offering to do this for us today. So please give him a big hand.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Michael. That was really nice. I like that song. That was really good. Wow. It's so good to see new faces and old faces and loved ones and dear ones and history through the years. I've been in this teaching with Hornaday. I started attending Founders in Los Angeles when I was 17 years old, and that was like just 2 years ago, right? And so I've learned over the years as a musician and singing at different churches and different centers, and I've just thought in my heart, I wanted to share my revelation of this teaching along with everything that goes into the grinder of life. And so as I was performing one day, I think it was somewhere in Capistrano, and the ministers, Kirk and Sandy Moore, church. And one of the practitioners did the reading similar to what Robert did. And I was sitting there before I sang, and he read a passage from Meditations of My Heart by Howard Thurman. And I was sitting in the audience, and oh my gosh, he opened up the book, and on the picture, on the outside was a picture of Howard, African-American man, very distinguished and a beautiful looking man. And he started to read, and all of a sudden the rhythm of my heart started to beat in a certain way that I knew this was something I had to go deeper with. And that's the beginning. Howard always told people, go deeper. You want to be a musician? You can't just learn the scales. You got to go deeper. And there's no end to the keyboard. There's no end. It's infinite. And as we journey on our spiritual journey, it's infinite. And Howard is part of one of those things that allows me to go deeper spiritually. Of course, there are others as well. Ernest, Jesus, Gandhi. There are many others who have this amazing light about them. But what I realized in this teaching was the concept of race mind. Some of you know what that is, and some of you may not, and I'll be happy to share that with you later. But race mind essentially is that in which the thinking that's happening on the planet, to simplify it, right? And so I thought, wouldn't it be great to see what was happening in 1899 and the 1900s when Howard Thurman was born. Well, first of all, it was the massacre at Wounded Knee, which I read about in high school. Yosemite National Park was established, which I didn't know. That's pretty good, huh? It's a nice place. The Spanish-American War broke out, but it was only like 4 months of warfare before they settled that. I like those kind of wars, it's just 4 months, and that's it, man. Okay. Yeah. And then the Hawaiian Islands were established. We also took possession of Puerto Rico, Philippines, and the small island of Guam as territories. North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Washington became states. President William McKinley was assassinated, unfortunately. I didn't know that. The Wilmington Massacre, which was the Black Wall Street Journal, Wall Street that was there in Wilmington, Virginia. Well, Jim Crow was still prevalent, more so in the southern states. Lynchings were going on, and the formation of the Ku Klux Klan was established. And so, this is the environment that shaped Howard Thurman. We all come into an atmosphere that will shape us, that will help shape us. They say in teaching and education, which I was in for many years, that the first 6 years are the most crucial for someone. And after that, then it's hard to get the heart to change after that. But if you get them at a young age, you can really shape great ideas in them. As I move on, I wanted to recommend 2 books to you of Howard Thurman's, and I think as metaphysicians and New Thought people that these would help propel you further in your spiritual journey. One was Living Wisdom of Howard Thurman that he wrote. The second is, which was quoted today, Meditations of the Heart. And they are available on Amazon. I'm not plugging, I'm not getting a percentage of anything. But, they are on Amazon, so if you have Audible, and that's good too. And let me start by saying good morning, first of all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is my family, and my mother back there, and Kate, and now there's Robert and Maureen. What a marvelous connection we have of individuals in this small but dynamic place here in Carlsbad. It's quite amazing. I want to start with a quote that I really resonate with. It's one of Howard Thurman's quote, I call him Howard. I kind of know him a little bit. What's up, Howard? How you doing? Good day. This is Michael calling. And you know how that goes sometimes. And anyway, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. I love that. A little history. I was a history major in college. Thought I was going to be a lawyer, but I didn't go the way. So, but I was a history major. So I like investigating historical facts if I can. And I think it's always interesting. He was born in Howard. Dr. Howard Thurman was born 1899 in Daytona, Florida, and he was raised by a mother and a grandmother. Well, his grandmother was an ex-slave who went through slavery and lived long enough to realize freedom. And she could not read. She had 3 grandchildren. Howard had 2 sisters, a younger one, an older one, and he was in the middle. He said, whenever I got into trouble, I could blame it on one of them. One of them on the other, because as she made me do it, you know, this baby, she made, and then my oldest, she bossed me, she beat me up, so I had to do it. She threatened to electrocute herself if I, no. So that's how he would get out of it. But as a youngster, his grandmother, since she couldn't read, she would have him read to her every day. And so she would throw an affirmation on him, which he didn't know it was an affirmation. It was much later that he discovered. And she would say to the children, you are a child of God. God loves you. No one's greater than you but God. And she did that because when she was a slave, no one really talked to her about God and a personal relationship with God. All the ministers that came that were white and talked to the slaves would always use the passage, you must be a good servant. Serve your master well. Well, we know who the master is, don't we? Today, the master of our life. And it's not a physical person. But she heard that so often, and so she told her children that she was going to not let that be the case for them growing up. Howard was an author, a philosopher, a theologian, a mystic, educator, and a civil rights leader. That's quite a catalog of resume there. I would hire him in a second, you know, I don't know about you. If I had a business, I certainly would. He was a close mentor to Martin Luther King Jr., because as was stated, he and Martin Luther King Sr. were roommates in college, and so, you know, they knew each other quite well, the good and the bad, each of them growing up as 19-year-olds in Morehouse College in Atlanta. I also had to look up what the heck is wisdom. Michael Paul, what's wisdom? I don't know, I think I know, but I don't know if I really know, so let me look it up. So one of the definitions I found is that is the ability to apply knowledge, experience, and good judgment to navigate life's complexities. It's a gift that involves both moral and intellectual qualities. Well, this was quite amazing to discover. And his favorite scripture was Psalms 139. And he often quoted James 13:17, because at that time the Bible was the leading document per se, pretty much during that time until the New Thought movement really started to take shape. But I love this Bible scripture as well. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Those are some amazing things that really resonate directly to my heart. he would also focus his sermons, which was really kind of new thought. He would on spiritualizing intellect, spiritualizing heart, spiritualizing intention, which is pretty awesome thing. As we embark on this journey in life, we try to see spirit in everything because it is there. We can't always see it. Some of us are more sensitive to seeing spirit in nature, as he often did. That was quite amazing. One of the stories of him as a young boy that I liked, because I was such a mischievous boy growing up, I gotta tell you. I had 3 older brothers, so I had to be real clever to get around them. But anyway, so Howard, he was mischievous, and he would venture out because he had lost his father at an early age. And so he, in a house full of grandma, mom, 2 sisters, he knew he had to find some testosterone somewhere. It's like, where am I going to find something, that a little boy can get? So he found this oak tree that overlooked the ocean, and he would go there because it was so picturesque. And you see places where it's almost like a physical prayer. I would call it a physical. It's so beautiful that when you look out, this can't be real. Must be, something amazingly painted by God himself. And you look out, and so this is what this place was for this young boy. So he would go there, and he would lean against that oak tree. I can see him now with a straw in his mouth, just kind of looking out at the ocean, and just, little boys look up at the clouds and see all kind of things. And well, what he saw, it was amazing. It was almost like little David, I would imagine, how David heard music, and he wanted to worship God through music. Well, Howard looked out and saw the world, and he began to meet God, which we know is divine love, divine spirit. We call it different things, but it's all the same. And he would see that, and he would go there, and he would really just enjoy the meditation of being in that environment. And so over time, he went so often that he would start talking to this oak tree. And now that sounds a little bizarre. And the really bizarre thing about it is that the tree talked back. And so he would have these amazing conversations with this oak tree. And this oak tree would just give him, he didn't know what was really happening at that young age. It wasn't until he grew up and he got in contact more with his spiritual and intuitive side that he realized that this tree was prepping him to serve God in a mighty way. And that's what it did. It just instructed him and showed him how to see nature, divine is ever present, and the beauty of God's creation can particularly be seen in the natural world. The air, the sunrise, the sunset, in the flowers. And if you're listening with a deeper note, which only the stillness of the heart makes clear. That stillness of the heart is a recurring theme in Howard's ministry. That stillness in the heart, of the love in the heart, in the heart, in the heart. For the earth automatically brings forth fruits of itself. We don't have to do anything. Jesus said, look at the birds. They toil, they spin not. Yet they eat, they have somewhere to go, they have somewhere to sleep. Aren't you more than that? Also, Dr. Thurman was able to study mysticism with the iconic Quaker mystic, Rufus Jones. I didn't know who Rufus Jones is. Anybody know who Rufus Jones is? He's a really interesting guy. He was at the forefront of the Quaker movement saying we have to embrace more than just Quakers. And they were very instrumental in World War I. They went to Europe and helped with reconstructing Europe and feeding the kids. So this guy Rufus was an amazing person. And at the Quaker University, he majored in mysticism, which was, wow, where's that school? I should have went there. Where he learned that God is making room in my heart for more compassion. So when he studied with Rufus, these are a few people take a little footnotes. It's a very quick study or review if you just Google Rufus Jones. Interesting, a man, and he had such great influence. I thought the Quakers were kind of bizarre growing up as a religion. I thought they were so separate, they didn't incorporate the mainstream of people, but that's not the truth of it at all. And I was laboring in my own stupidity with that notion. He learned that where the hunger of the heart makes man's relationship to man the same as man's relationship to God. That's deep for me. And your salvation is found in another man's heart. So if you're looking for divine awareness, divine love, it's in your brother's heart. So you have to deal with your brother. And goes right in line with love thy neighbor as thyself. And so he found that in seeing the magic in another man, of course I'm using the language of the day, that would be woman and everyone else. That's a human being that comes into this planet with light. You have to find it, you have to run to them to find true love. It's unfortunately, we as humans, we don't have a direct connection to an angelic world or something that was often referred to in the scriptures, but it's in our fellow human being's heart that we find true love. And Dr. Thurman would often caution about the 3 hounds of hell. So, growing up in the USA back in the early 1900s, relations with blacks in the country were not very good. They were pretty harsh, pretty threatening, pretty belligerent. And so he called these things, as a minister, the 3 hounds of hell. We don't believe so much in hell, but hell is a concept, it's an idea. It's in a place that is where fear and hypocrisy and hatred dwell in our consciousness. For if it was present, if the 3 hounds were present in one's life, that would diminish the divine flow. So it'd be difficult to see God anywhere in any situation. In 1935, Dr. Thurman was invited to India to discuss the civil rights environment in the U.S. with Gandhi. What an amazing privilege. He was the first African American to go to India to meet with Gandhi, Howard Thurman. So he had an entourage of other ministers with him as they went to India to meet with Gandhi and to discuss Sakti Hatha, which was nonviolence or love truth philosophy, with Gandhi. So when he met Gandhi immediately apologized to Howard. Of course, Howard was really taken aback by that, and he said, I have to apologize that I did not share the message of nonviolence in the United States, and particularly with the Negro, which we were referred to back then. And so he apologized, but he said, I guess it was in his spirit, it's an intuitive spirit, that, maybe it's going to be through the Negro, or we call it the African American, which I'm going to refer to now. The African American will be the race that will bring this nonviolence philosophy to the rest of the world. This was in 1935. Martin Luther King was born in 1929. Martin Luther King Jr. was 6 years old when this conversation took place. This is how seeds are planted. Some seeds take 20 years to grow. Some seeds take longer. Some seeds require a forest fire to germinate and expand. So this is a mystical concept that I saw as I studied. I said, well, Martin was that's how I knew about nonviolence was, Martin, and Martin, I knew Gandhi, and then Gandhi. And so it all came back to Howard Thurman. And this is part of the mystic spiritual journey when you can see things like this. In 1944, San Francisco, Dr. Thurman and Dr. Albert Fisk, who was a Caucasian minister, started the first church. And I have it here. Where is my... Give me one moment. Oh, here we are. They started the intercultural, interracial, interfaith, and interdenominational church dedicated to the personal empowerment and social transformation through an ever deepening relationship with the Spirit of God in all life. This was an amazing venture that the rest of the country, we look at San Francisco as a kind of bizarre place anyway, most of us. So, we do weird stuff in San Francisco, but it's so beautiful up there. But anyway, this was, these two gentlemen who were highly respected in their respective communities, and they loved God. And so they took the leadership role, and it was really a precipice for more visually piping into equality, justice, and the civil rights in the U.S. So this was the ember that would start to ignite the country. Hey, these guys are working, they're like preachers together, working together hand in hand. Ebony and ivory kind of thing in the spirit world, in the churches, which was quite amazing thing. So the church is still going, believe it or not. Church is still going, so it is fantastic. The next time in San Francisco, we'll have to look them up. Anyway. In 1953, Life magazine rated Howard Thurman among 12 of the most important religious figures in the U.S. That was a year, that was before I was born. That happened. Psalms 19:14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, my Lord, which we know is law, my strength and my Redeemer. He would often say that before each of his sermons, wherever he was, and he traveled worldwide. He was a worldwide figure, and he would often state that in his presentations. Well, I'm going to kind of draw to somewhat of a conclusion, because the vastness of the subject makes it one in which you have to do more research. I can't spoon feed you today, although my wife makes a marvelous baby food, apple soup. She made it taste like baby food, but it was so good. I eat baby food and stuff, I was like, hey, this is pretty good. Anyway, and coming to somewhat of a conclusion here, Dr. Howard Thurman was a spiritual champion, I would say, of humanity. He wasn't just a black man doing a black thing for only black people. No, he wasn't like that. He dealt with everybody as special creations of God. You know, he just happened, the problem was very vast at the time for the African American, and so that was what he championed. But he dealt with everyone. He was highly, highly credentialed and educated. Oh man. And his life contribution was a light in the darkness of ignorance, hatred, fear, and hypocrisy. He was a light. He said each of us enter this world with the light. Some of us don't use it, some of us lose it, some of us have it and see it. When we have it, we see it, and we try to do more to let it shine brighter and brighter. He was looking at life, I like this term, with quiet eyes of tender love. Just think what that would be like. I look at the world and I'm labeling almost everything. Oh, that's wrong. And we use our eyes and we say and we judge and we do all these things but to have quiet eyes of tender love. Can you think about that and meditate on that for a little while? If not today, at some point, and see what you see. And with that, I love to share his famous scripture in Psalms. I'd like to read that and share that with you. Psalms 139 was his favorite. I call it his mystic scripture. And 139 it's a long one. It's a long one. You know, it's just interesting. And I have the mic, and I'm going to tell you what my mother used to do. I had 8 other siblings in my family, and I was the youngest boy, and I had younger sisters. And so I would try to run out early on the weekends with my older brother. We were tight, so we'd get out the house. Let's go before Mom wakes up. Well, if we did, and Mom was already downstairs preparing breakfast, she said, wait, don't go anywhere. You both have to read something from the Bible. God, believe it's too late again. It's your fault. I told you might need to get up. I was asleep yet. Anyway, we would sit down, and my brother, who had a mind like a mathematician, engineer kind of guy, I didn't like him too much. Anyway, he would pop out, he'd jump a verse, and he'd just, start reading a big verse. And then he'd look at me and smile. So I said, Mom, well, we'll turn to Psalms. There's small scriptures in Psalms. And so I would look, and then there was scripture, this was just really short. Jesus wept. That was it. So I wasn't too much into long songs back then, but I am now. I gotta tell you, we go deeper. Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path, my lying down, and are acquainted with my ways. For there is not a word, my tongue. But behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? I ascend into heaven, which is our higher thoughts of consciousness. You are there. Or I make my bed in hell, which are those three hounds of hell, consciousness. Behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you. Well, I'm going to hold that thought for a minute. For 9 months we're laboring in darkness in the womb of a mother. 9 months. What is this? That's all I know. It's darkness. Pretty much. But anyway, moving on. For you form my inward parts. You cover me in my mother's womb. Here we go. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. How many of you are fearfully and wonderfully made? How many of you feel that? You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you, when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts of me, O God. How great is the sum of them? If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. We were just on the beach, my wife and I, and we was looking out at the waves, and I happened to look over her. I said, honey, isn't it amazing the abundance if we just think how much sand there is on the earth? She looked at me and she said, how'd you know that's what I was thinking? And it's true. But God thinks of us as the sands on the earth. When I awake, I am still with you. Then I'm going to jump down here. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties. And see if there is any wicked way in me. And lead me in the way everlasting. I love that word. Everlasting love. Everlasting. Put that in front of anything that you really think you really love. Everlasting. Could be flowers. Everlasting cat. But if you put that in front of any word, it makes it more wonderful to you. That concludes my presentation on Howard Thurman. I invite you, I think I have a last note here. No, I don't. I invite you to take Howard's advice and go deeper. Go deeper. That's a good affirmation for anything. You know, when I was learning to play basketball and I was beating on Robert on basketball court, you had to go deeper. You had to go deeper. You had to work on that left hand. You couldn't just shoot with the right hand. You had to, but we all got to go deeper, whatever it is. In my music, I got to go deeper. With you and your studies, you and your love and your relationships, go deeper. Everything you can go deeper with. Your health, go deeper. Your well-being, go deeper. With that, I say thank you, and let love permeate this planet as never, ever before. And so it is.
So it is.
Mike would now favor us with another song.
Yes, yes.
Is it?
You got a yes, another song?
One other song?
show today.
I know, I'm just, isn't that funny? You ready for this, Michael?
I never knew that a split personality was going to come in.
The microphone.
Well, at least here we have two.
It's a microphone.
No, I don't have a split personality, by the way. Just kidding. Well, ask my wife. She might have a better answer than I do.
No comment.
No comment.
Oh. This is so difficult to get in there.
Challenged by the equipment.
Jesse. In this moment, in this place, I remember whose I am. Many fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I can see there is no